Daniel Kostick presents Premiership Elections in Albertan History. This election took place on March 26, 1975, and was the 18th election in the province's history. As this was the first legislative session since 1935 to be led by a party other than Social Credit, Premier Peter Lougheed wanted to make sure that his Progressive Conservative Party started things off correctly. In 1972, the PCs passed the Alberta Bill of Rights, and shortly afterwards revoked the Sexual Sterilization Act. This act was originally passed under the Progressive United Farmers government in 1928 and resulted in thousands of people deemed mentally deficient undergoing sterilization procedures. The SSA and Eugenics Board were dissolved under three reasons. The act violated fundamental human rights, it was based on theories that have been deemed questionable, and it was filled with legal ambiguities, notably around exemptions for surgeons' civil liability. Since the repeal, 850 people have sued the government for involuntary or wrongful sterilization and have been awarded a collective $142 million in damages. During the 1970s, the world would experience a crisis around energy production and shortages of oil. Due to Western support for Israel during the Yom Kippur War, OAPEC members imposed an embargo on oil, which led to a reduction in oil supplies and a spike in prices. Needing to diversify where they get their oil, countries began to look to other parts of the world to fill their needs. And with its rich reserves, Alberta was a prime location. As production increased to fill domestic and international needs, the economy of Alberta boomed and the province was kept safe from the effects of the embargo. Just days before the writ drop, Lougheed signed an agreement in Winnipeg along with Saskatchewan Premier Alan Blakeney between them and the federal government. These agreements allow the provincial governments to charge world market prices for oil rather than be forced into domestic pricing, increasing their revenue earned from oil. These agreements also granted the provinces more control over resources, with the federal government transferring jurisdiction and authority. This signing allowed the PCs to show that they had sway over the federal government, and the resulting increases in provincial autonomy and resource rights helped to solidify Lougheed's popularity. Finding itself in opposition for the first time in its history, Social Credit continued to see its influence over voters decline. Harry Strom, the former premier and MLA for Cyprus, would become leader of the official opposition, but he would resign in 1973 and announce he would not seek re-election. In the following leadership contest, four candidates would run: Robert Clark, former Minister of Education and MLA for Olds Didsbury; John Ludwig, Dean of Business Education at Alberta College; Werner Schmidt, Vice President of Lethbridge Community College; and Gordon Taylor, former Minister of Highways, MLA for Drumheller, and the runner-up in the previous race. Schmidt would go on to win an upset victory over Clark, winning on the second ballot, but this would do little to help the party fortunes. He lost a by-election just after winning leadership, meaning that Social Credit would not have its party leader sitting in the chamber at the time of the election. Despite having re-entered the legislature, the NDP found that it could do little in the way of making any sort of progress. Grant Notley, MLA for Spirit River Fairview, would introduce a bill that would impose tight limits on campaign spending. The bill, which proposed 25 cents per elector, or $2,000 in any one electoral division, was criticized for being heavily restrictive on freedom within the democratic process and did not make it past the second reading. Following leading the Liberal Party to its worst ever showing, Bob Russell resigned as leader in 1974. The following leadership race saw just two people run, and oil tycoon Nicholas Taylor would beat out football player John Borger to become the new leader. Contrary to previous leaders, Taylor would take the path of disconnecting the party from the unpopular federal Liberals. He would express happiness and relief at the thought of the PCs winning the 1974 federal election, stating, "Then I'm rid of the albatross of having to explain every asinine move Ottawa makes." Since the party found itself on the fringes of Alberta politics for the first time in its history, Taylor would begin to prop up the party coffers with his own personal fortune he had earned from his time in oil and gas. During the campaign, Lougheed would be able to traverse the province due to his overwhelming popularity. The PCs also remained increasingly popular due to their successes of the previous term, and the promises of a 28% tax cut and the creation of the Heritage Savings Trust Fund served to boost the party. Aside from the NDP, no other party ran a full slate of 75 candidates, with Social Credit only running 70 candidates and the Liberals only running 46. Most of the NDP's resources and effort had to go to Notley's riding, as he was facing stiff competition. The NDP would also hold off on promoting socialist policies until late in the campaign in an effort to make the party seem less extremist. The same could be said for the Liberals, as most of their efforts would go towards Taylor's seat and the party ran paper candidates in most rural ridings. And here are the results. Peter Lougheed won, winning 69 out of a possible 75 seats and 62.65% of the popular vote, up 20 seats and 16.25% since 1971. Next came Werner Schmidt, whose Social Credit Party won 4 seats and 18.17% of the popular vote, down 21 seats and 22.93% since 1971. Next came Grant Notley, whose NDP won 1 seat and 12.94% of the popular vote, even in seats and up 1.52% since 1971. Finally came Nicholas Taylor, whose Liberals won 0 seats and 4.98% of the popular vote, even in seats and up 3.97% since 1971. This election would see the highest popular vote percentage won by the victorious party in Albertan history. With this victory, Lougheed proved that the PCs were here for the long haul. This election also sealed the fate of Social Credit, as the party would never again elect more than 4 MLAs in a general election. Contrary to the previous election, only 2 ridings, Spirit River Fairview and Medicine Hat Redcliffe, could be considered close races, with all other ridings being decided by over 600 votes. Personal popularity played a part in races where the victor was someone other than the PCs, with Notley and the Social Credit remnants winning their races largely due to this factor. While the NDP would increase their vote share slightly, this would not translate to seats, as the party placed no higher than 3rd in most individual ridings. Taylor's efforts to rebrand the Liberals and make them separate from the federal party proved to be moderately successful, as the party's vote count rebounded but remained outside of the legislature. This election would introduce a key player of the Lougheed era, that of increasingly shrinking oppositions. I'll see you in the next one.